Today marks 22 years since the Chinese Communist Party launched its persecution of Falun Gong. Over the weekend in London, Berlin and Paris, followers of the spiritual practice raised awareness of the human rights abuses still happening in China. NTD's Joy Dugid brings us this report.
This fashion designer saw her parents for less than 24 hours in the last 16 years. The reason? The persecution of the spiritual discipline Falun Gong in China that began 22 years ago. Since 1999, her parents have been going in and out of labour camps where they experienced torture. This year, her mother was sentenced to another 4 years.
Her life has been destroyed, and now they give her another 4-year sentence, and she didn't commit a crime, to be honest, and I feel I'm worried about her as well.
Falun Gong, also known as Falun Dafa, consists of meditative exercises and moral teachings based on the principles of truthfulness, compassion and tolerance. Last weekend, Yu joined other practitioners in London opposite the House of Lords to commemorate the anniversary and raise awareness.
I think they need the public exposure. That's the best way to help, because they know what they do is not right in their heart.
Millions of adherents in China have suffered a similar fate to her parents, and an unknown number of practitioners have died, including through forced organ harvesting. Practitioners say the persecution should concern everyone.
It's relevant to every human being because it's about freedom of belief being trampled on by a tyrannous government. And they're actually, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, is reaching into the West.
In Germany too, practitioners honoured the occasion last weekend. They held rallies and parades in Berlin, not only to raise awareness but also to showcase the beauty of the practice. This German practitioner said he experienced a deep transformation after he started practicing about 18 months ago, especially in his relationships.
If someone treats you badly, there is a reason for it. And then you should start looking at yourself first. Why is the person like that towards me?
And in Paris, practitioners protested in front of the Chinese embassy. Parisians reacted.
Je suis totalement avec eux. Ce sont des gens qui doivent avoir le droit.
I am totally with them. They are people who should have the right to have their own religion. But in China it seems to me that religions are forbidden. Since it is an atheist government, atheism being a kind of religion in itself.
Some said their peaceful demeanour inspired them and made them realise the necessity of defending freedom.
Je suis très heureux de voir qu'il y a des gens ici.
I am very happy to see that there are people here who are demonstrating peacefully, and precisely to give us a message.
Practitioners say they hope the world's people will help bring an end to the persecution in China. Joy Dugid, NTD News.
Calls have been made to give freedom of expression in the UK the same legal protection as the United States. A new report commissioned by Laurence Fox's Reclaim Party says social media companies shouldn't censor lawful content and employers shouldn't be allowed to sack workers for their speech. Here's NTD's Jane Well with more.
A new legal report demands British laws should be changed to give UK citizens the same free speech protections as the First Amendment does in the United States. It's commissioned by Laurence Fox's Reclaim Party. The former actor says the report looks at where free speech is being impinged and what needs to change.
The general thing is social media companies shouldn't be censoring people. HCOGs are terrible. Scottish Hate Crime Bill is disastrous, and don't police my tweets, thank you very much. That's the LOS version of it. The legal version of it goes 54 pages and is not a page turner, but it's extremely important.
The report calls for revoking guidance that records non-crime hate incidents, bringing in legislation to allow debate without censorship and protection for employees' speech. It comes amid concerns over cancel culture when people with dissenting views to a particular narrative have been cancelled. which can result in them losing their jobs, being banned from social media platforms or blocked from speaking at events. For Fox, it's something that calls close to home.
Well, I was an actor for a long time, and then I voiced an opinion, and then that was not acceptable to the, what are they called, the wokery, you know. And so they sort of ended my acting career, and then I thought, wow, there's a real problem with free expression in this country, because if I'm expressing a moderate view, and that view is enough to have my career ended, imagine what's happening to someone who's has less of a platform than I do, has less of a safety net in certain ways than I do. So I thought it was a cause so important that I wanted to get involved, you know. So we started a political party to deal with it, the Free Speech Party.
In the foreword, former Supreme Court Judge Lord Sumption says there's a high social cost of suppressing opinions we believe to be mistaken. He writes how Britain's Royal Society recently proposed legislation and punishment of those who produced and disseminated false information about vaccines. What they mean by false information is information inconsistent with the scientific consensus as defined by some recognised authority. He says knowledge advances by confronting contrary arguments, not by suppressing them. Jane Warrell, NTD News, London.
The usually bustling streets of Greece's famed party island Mykonos were quiet early Sunday morning. Authorities imposed new virus restrictions, including a music ban, to the anger of business owners and tourists. David Doyle has more.
On the Greek party island Mykonos on Saturday night, something was missing. Authorities have banned music in cafes, restaurants and bars, as well as imposed a week-long nighttime curfew from 1 a.m. till 6 a.m.
Well, we only got here a few days ago, and now nothing's open, so our holiday's been ruined.
The restrictions have been brought in to contain what has been described as a worrying local outbreak of COVID-19. But the decision, after the global health crisis caused a collapse in visitor numbers last year, has left Business Association head Iraklis Zissamopoulos fuming.
They decide to destroy the economy of the island at the most critical time of the year. We have a lot of cancellations immediately. People leave from the island, and it will be a disaster for us and for our staff.
Greece depends on tourism for a fifth of its economy, and Mykonos is one of its most popular destinations. Its reputation for all-night partying lures more than 1 million visitors every year, including Hollywood stars, models and top athletes. Infections have risen across Greece in recent weeks, including on Mykonos, where health authorities recorded 37 new cases on Saturday. It's been averaging around the same number over the last 7 days. In the early hours of Sunday, the usually bustling streets of Mykonos were quiet, as disappointed tourists like Sarah and Dina leave.
We came to party, so bye Mykonos!
Renting designer clothes is gaining popularity. Even world-renowned London department store Harrods has a fashion rental pop-up. NTD's Natalia Nutting has the story.
Choosing a designer gown from luxury London department store Harrods could set you back hundreds or even thousands of pounds. But now you can pick one up for a fraction of the retail price by renting it, then giving it back.
So you could rent a dress that costs thousands of pounds for £40 or £50 per day. So it really is the most incredible opportunity.
This boutique pop-up is being run by My Wardrobe HQ, an already established luxury fashion rental platform. It recently hit the headlines after providing Carrie Johnson, wife of the Prime Minister, with her wedding dress and clothes for the recent G7 summit.
Carrie has actually rented from us before several times. She likes the idea of rental, likes the idea of not damaging the planet. But I think it's really brought an awareness to a much, much broader audience than ever before.
Renting outfits is not only for one-off events. Clothes are often worn just a few times during pregnancy, when women's bodies are frequently changing.
Women, on average, purchase 21 new items of clothing during pregnancy, and once they hit postpartum, that number continues to increase. So intrinsically, the maternity sector is incredibly wasteful.
Mason was pregnant during lockdown and realised renting clothes might be a better option. That's when she came up with the idea of For the Creators, a maternity and postnatal fashion rental marketplace.
And I think what makes us slightly different to other fashion rental platforms is that pregnant women and new mums need to source staples. They need to build out a new wardrobe of staple items such as dungarees and jeans and coats.
My Wardrobe HQ customers can rent items for between 4 and 14 days. For the Creators allows pregnant women to rent up to 3 months at a time. They both hope if more people turn to renting, fewer clothes will end up in the landfill. Natalia Nutting, NTD News.
That's the news for today, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Stuart Lees. Thank you for watching our daily news show on YouTube. You can also watch our other programming on channel 190 on Sky TV or on Freeview via channel box on channel 271. In the meantime though, please give this video a like and hit subscribe to our channel. Have a good day.